we're all on this journey. We're on this health journey together, really just wanting to educate people that there are natural ways, plant-based ways to be able to get healthy, stay healthy. I love doctors, but I don't always think that the pharmaceutical route is the way to go. And so there's so many side effects for pharmaceutical route, and we're having a girl talk twice a month. Today, I get to share on a topic I was not educated on, just to be honest with you. So it's the world of CBD. I thought that CBD was about getting a joint, smoking it, and getting high. And being a Christian, and for my background, I was very taboo about it. And although we have some other products and they were 100% changing Tom and mine's life, the world of CBD was introduced to us. And I was like, no, well, you know what? We'll just talk about all the rest of the products, but we won't talk about the CBD side. How about that? I was like, well, we probably should talk to our pastors about this just to kind of let them know, we're just not going to do that side of it, but we're going to do the other side of it because the health products are just so amazing. That evening, I got a text message from my pastor's wife, and she said, hey, do you guys have CBD oil? And I was like, no, but we have a CBD fluid. And I didn't say any more than that. And then she said, oh, could I order some from you? And it turned out everybody knew way more than what Tom and I knew in the CBD world. So then we started educating ourselves in the CBD world. The thing that we are finding in the CBD world has been like just running rampant. But the problem is that there's no regulations behind it. And so you get CBD that is filled with so much THC that people are high for several days. Then you get CBD nobody is getting any results from because there's not really anything in there. There's an oil and then they've got additives in it and they're just packaging it up and saying, this is CBD, and nobody's getting results from it. We started getting educated in it. And, the main thing that people are really targeting with CBD, my friend Vicki is going to share a lot more about anxiety and depression. Like, who would have thought that the world of CBD would have came at such a time as when we really needed it the most? And, we've gone through 2020, the whole mask COVID phase was supposed to be over in a very short period of time. Well, not so, because here we are 2021 at the end of 2021 and it's still going on, right? It's really caused a ruckus in a lot of people's lives. I just want to tell you just a little bit about where CBD is. 40% of Americans are battling, or it could be more, but that we know of, anxiety and depression. And what's even worse is 91% of Generation Z, which is my daughter's generation. I think it might be my daughter's generation or it might be right after her. She was born in 2001, but 90% of Generation Z has been affected by anxiety and depression. It's good for pain and sleep disorders and so many different things. We are super excited about sharing today, and I'm just going to share a little bit and then I'm going to pass it over to my friend Vicki. When people are going through anxiety and depression, mostly the doctors, they're passing out what is like candy, the Prozac, the Zoloft, the Lexapro, or the Paxil. And what's actually making it worse is it's actually increasing suicidal thoughts in most people and weight gain. And I did a study, and I actually made this up. I did a study. Each one of them had sleepiness, dizziness, nausea, dry mouth, upset stomach, constipation. So you can see that they all had similar effects. And then if you weren't already depressed, weight gain. So for women, how great was that? More weight gain. Yay, So today we are going to talk about the endocannabinoid system and how actually the CBD, in the CBD world, it will make our endocannabinoid system in balance. And what it does is it actually unlocks the keys. All mammals are born with an endocannabinoid system. It's a system that's made up of neurotransmitters that bind cannabinoid receptors. So what does CBD help with? Chronic anxiety, fibromyalgia, schizophrenia that regulates sleep, pain, inflammation, substance abuse. The opioid pandemic is just running rampant. We are praying that the CBD world will actually be the answer. The right CBD, anyways, will be the answer. And then depression, Parkinson's, psoriasis, anti-tumorous, yes, PTSD, and then really the quality of life. So those are the things CBD is helping with. We're super excited about it. And people all over, we are seeing thousands and thousands of results from people, from the little things to the big things. For me, I mean, I'll just give you my little testimony. I was going through that pre-menopause and on into menopause. I would literally sleep for 8 to 9 hours each night. And I would wake up and I'd go, oh my gosh, I am still exhausted. I know I slept. I'm still exhausted. And 2 drops of our CBD, I mean, to tell you, I was up before my alarm clock. I felt like I really got into that REM sleep, and it was amazing. And to this day, I still get that REM sleep when I take my CBD. There's sometimes that I'm too lazy to get back up and get it at nighttime before I go to bed. And I feel it the next day. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to take my CBD last night. No wonder why I'm still tired this morning. Without further ado, I am going to pass it on over to my friend, Vicki. And Vicki she is in the world of CBD. She is going to really help educate today. And then we're going to talk a little bit after that. And we're going to have some amazing testimonies, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm looking into a product or something, I'm always reading the reviews. I always want to know, like, okay, what's this really helping with? You know what I do is I go to the negative reviews first, because most of the time the negative reviews are like, I didn't get my product in time, or I didn't do this. And then I go back up to the positive reviews, and I'm always like, these are real people. I'm praying that they're real people with real testimony. And that's what we really want to hear, is we want to hear people's real testimony. So I'm going to let Vicki take it away, and she's going to do an amazing job. I just love her. She's running with us on our team, and we're super excited, and she's a great friend, and just love her. So thanks, Vicki.
Okay. I feel so privileged to be among so many sweet ladies. It's like, yes. Okay. I am Vicki Lukeridge. I live in Central Washington, about right in the center. I am a grandmother and great grandmother, 71 years old. I love our collagen. If you haven't been introduced to our collagen, you need to ask whoever invited you. I am from the 60s. I've been watching the progress of the hemp and the marijuana plant for years. Now, to tell them apart is like the difference between an orange and a lemon. They come from the same family, but they're much different. So giving a little history here, first, we have been terribly misled for nearly 70 years in the United States. For at least 3,000 years, this plant has been used all over. I mean, we're talking the stalk of a hemp plant in Europe, they build cars with it. In Canada, they even built an airplane. And that's just the stalk. So we've been misled. What proteins are made by use of CBD? CBD produces over 1,100 genes that make the signaling molecules that naturally reduce inflammation in our central nervous system and throughout our immune system, restoring homeostasis to both our immune and central nervous systems. In 1996, California passed a Proposition 215, which also is known as the Compassionate Use Act, to allow for medical use. In 1998, Alaska, Oregon, and Washington followed suit. 30 or more states have medical programs. CBD is the most abundant cannabinoid in hemp. In 2018, the Farm Bill was approved. Little did we know that our company would release a partnership with Brizo Pure, our full fluid, water extracted CBD, in the same week. God is good. There is a patent 507 that protects the use of cannabinoids. The patent incorporates free radical associated diseases such as tissue hypoxia, which is impaired oxygen delivery to the tissues, inflammatory diseases and lupus, stroke and spinal cord trauma, Down syndrome, Crohn's disease, autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis and diabetes. I want to go back into the inflammatory diseases. I was reading that processed meats are something that we really should stay away from, but I didn't understand why. Well, it's because the protein's been altered. And when you alter anything like that in a foreign way, it's not natural. Your body kind of goes, oh, It's not natural. What do? It causes inflammation. I had no idea. Most people have a general idea, and that's where our enzymes come in, by the way. Most people have a general idea about arthritis, but they do not. A lot of people are not aware of just how debilitating it can be. As it turns out, arthritis is the leading cause of disability in America, with over 50 million adults and 300,000 children who are diagnosed. And that's a lot of joint pain. Right there, I just want to put a plug onto my why. As a great grandmother, we need to wake people up. Seriously, if I don't do anything else, I hope I make a difference in this area in my lifetime. So going on with the list: cataract formation in the eye, inflammation, lung conditions, gastric ulcers, oxygen toxicity, decay of cells, radiation sickness. All this CBD helps. Multitude of properties for the brain. I'm going to talk about the brain a little bit. Function and protection for the brain: helps with anxiety, depression, brain protection, anti-inflammatory, and immune system. Decreases inflammation in the brain, influences brain cells to help protect from toxins, preserves brain circulation during mini strokes, improves brain circulation, helps depression, anxiety, and bipolar. Epilepsy restores the brain function. According to the patent, central nervous system diseases, particularly Parkinson's disease. Now, my dad had Parkinson's disease, but did I have the CBD then? No. Alzheimer's disease, HIV, dementia, autoimmune, neurogenetic diseases. The key medical properties of CBD is a potent antioxidant, neuroprotectant, along with being very safe for the human consumption. CBD works in our bodies through the endocannabinoid system, a master regular mechanism for our entire body. I strongly urge everybody to do their own research. This is just me researching. So the endocannabinoid system, cannabinoid receptors. So we have a lot of receptors in our system, and they're looking for the CBD. We didn't know all this, right? It's all about researching and getting our education. But you can see here that lists from the bottom: pancreas, bone marrow, liver, and immune system. So you can tell that it hits all over the place in our immune system, which is pretty much where I want to hit today because of everything that's going on in the world. So homeostasis, that is a balance. So we're going to weigh out and look at things that balance. So in the description of how to do this, to get a visual, we're going to go to a mobile, and this shows you how your system works. I know you got to use your imagination a little bit. Basically, you can see here that we have all these connections in our cannabinoid system. The little green spot that you see is actually the place where the CBD will go from one straw to another and go on down and hit the stars. And the stars are what's the things that are ailing in you, and why you don't feel good is why the red one is inflamed. There's something going on there, and it tilts and puts everything at a sideways. It needs CBD. But what happens? You go to the doctor. We all do it. We didn't know anything different. And so when you go to the doctor, they give you a prescription to take care of that inflamed star you see in red. And it pretty much isolates that. It might take care of that, but it isn't in balance with anything else. And it doesn't get any of the benefit from anything natural. Think about the other side of this mobile, where you've got maybe 2 or 3 that stars are also in red for whatever reason. So, I've got friends I know take 12 pills a day, and it's all pharmaceutical. This is not good. So basically what happens is it weighs down and you end up in the hospital because it is just not a natural way to go. Okay, so this picture is the immune system. And it wanted to show that there is 350 signaling elements to the mobile right here. So what happens is they all need to stay in balance, and you see the little kind of like snowflakes, but they're blue. that is a CBD, and it's come from the top, and it's blink, 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 going all the way down and hitting all those receptors. So what that happens is, like Shelly had said earlier, it unlocks those receptors. It's receiving this, and it's causing balance and homeostasis in your system. I don't know about you, but I think I need my 2 drops today. This is a really good illustration. And we need to understand we have many, many receptors in our body. These receptors are looking for cannabinoids. CBD impacts our bodies working indirectly both with the CB1 and CB2 receptors, stimulating these receptors. You know, it impacts our anxiety, appetite, sleep, perception of pain, mood, nausea, vomiting, and sexual behavior. This is a list that we have for what CBD can do for you. So I just wanted to put a little plug in our impact product support, the education a little bit on that. It strengthens the collective tissues and bone formulation. So at 71, I want all the help I can have with my bones.
So Vicki, can you share a testimony on CBD?
I think the best one I'd like to share is with my husband, who I did lose in September, but he had a tumor in the C7 in the back, and it was covering quite a bit. But, you know, he was a determined person to still work. He would take our cream with him and put it in his pocket. And he was an electrician and worked for Microsoft in Quincy. It's a union job. And the reason why I even say that is because if you got random drug tests, it wouldn't show up, because it doesn't have any oil in it. Right. But he had it in his pocket. He had a gentleman work under him that was driving a forklift that had a migraine, and he was going to go home because he hurt so bad. And Luke says, well, if you want to try something to get rid of that, let's take a little spot of this on your finger, put a little bit on your temples, and then on your neck. Bam, his migraine was gone. So I'd say, and my husband used it all the time for his back. It relieves the nervous system quite a bit. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And Luke was a great guy, and so sorry. Kathy DeCandia, I want you to share about our CBD fluid.
So when I was introduced to the CBD, I needed it for several different reasons. Number one, my pain from my rheumatoid arthritis, and also depression, anxiety. I had it all. I take 4 drops a day. That's the only way I can get through my day. Seriously. I mean, I take the other products too, the enzymes and so forth, but the CBD helps me. Like you said, I wake up with anxiety in the middle of the night. And so if I forget to take it before I go to bed, that's why I get the anxiety. If I take it, then I can sleep through the night. But I'm kind of like Shelly said, I'll forget sometimes. Now I have a bottle right next to my bed, always. And the other ones are in the kitchen or wherever, but I can't be without it. I take it with me even wherever I go, because I'm prone to get anxiety. And so it definitely helps with that. And again, getting back to my arthritis, it's getting pretty bad. There's nothing I can do as far as how it's affected me, like my hands. It hasn't changed any of that, but with the pain, it has. The inflammation stuff, sometimes it'll help that. I have to admit that sometimes does not. It depends on what I eat. If I stay away from nightshades, then I'm okay. Once I eat some nightshades, I'm inflamed. So I have to take the CBD once again. Sometimes I've taken as much as 6 drops a day. It just depends. For me, it's been a blessing, and I've shared it with so many people and have lots of family that uses it. I sent it down to my mom down in California. She's 90 years old, as well as I sent her down the relief cream because it helps her for pain as well. And as far as what you had just talked about, Vicki, with your husband using it on his temple or neck, if I get a headache, the minute I take that relief with the CBD, I mean, within minutes, it is gone. My headache has just started. I can feel it. The other thing I want to say about the CBD that really is important to me, I've always been one that would get cramps in my legs. If I'm on my legs 10, 12 hours a day, and I mean, I'm retired now, and I'm constantly moving and doing something. And by nighttime, I put so much stress on them that I can be in bed and all I have to do is just stretch once. And all of a sudden that cramp will hit me in the groin area and go all the way down my whole leg. And I can hardly get out of bed fast enough. So long story short, I take 2 drops immediately on my tongue, and then I hold it up on the roof of my mouth. And it immediately, I can feel it like it's melting. My cramp is just gone within minutes. And I used to have to scream for my son when he lived here to come and help me rub it out. I've never, since I've had CBD, I use that. I take it everywhere I go. If I'm on the road and I get a cramp, I just pull over and take it. And I do get out of the car or whatever, or walk. If I'm in the house and I get it, I'll get out of bed and walk. But I take it immediately and it's gone within, minutes. I could probably count within a minute or two. That's how it's been for me. I'll never be without it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And I know Kathy, because I've only known her through just getting the products and everything, and along with us as well. This can help with our animals as well. So Kathy had a dog that was in her last years of life, a couple of years of life, literally helped with that. And the same time, our dog, who was 16, it really helped her with the last year of her life as well. So you can just drop 2 drops in water and it's golden, man. I'm telling you, we have I said goodbye to our dog so many times, leaving and going, oh, I'm so sorry. You've been such a good dog. And then I come home and she's jumping around like a puppy. And I'm like, what the heck? I know this sounds mean, but I say, I thought you would be dead by now, but she got to be 16 and a half years old, and that's a long life for a lab. I'm going to have one more testimony, and then I'm just going to give you a really cool demonstration. How about Kendra? How about you?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid autoimmune disease. And I've been in the healthcare field. I'm a massage therapist for over 20 years. So I'm very familiar with natural healthcare, and I was seeing a naturopath, also just trying to find medical care because my symptoms have progressed so dramatically. So it got to the point where my joint inflammation was so bad, I wasn't able to bend my right knee, and I was limping around. My anxiety was through the roof. My psoriasis on my scalp was horrible. I would cry in the shower when I had to wash my hair. And life was just not good for me or my family. And I was taking literally this basket full of supplements from my naturopath 3 times a day. I was taking medications as well, and I was not getting better. And so I tried CBDs before, and I was introduced to Soothe through Julie. After 5 days of taking the Soothe drops, I could bend my knee for the first time in months. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And so then everything started progressing from that point on. I got off my anti-anxiety medication. I was the same, where I would wake up at 3 a.m, every day with my heart pounding and anxiety, and that's completely gone. Same with my family too, with my kids. They take the spray when they're having a hard day. And the other day, my 10-year-old had a loose tooth, and he was just having a really rough day, crying and crying. And finally, I was like, why am I not giving him the Soothe spray? And so I did it, and literally in 10 minutes, he's like, Mom, let's get this tooth out. I was like, yes, why didn't I think of this sooner? So it's really changed not just my life, but my whole family's life, and now my clients as well. I've seen huge results with them, and it's just something that I cannot stop sharing about.
Thank you so much. And I think it's so funny. We forget what we have in our hands is so powerful. Just even the smallest thing, like a tooth. I have a bunion on my foot, and that's what really sold me. Was I was on my feet for 2 days at a conference. My foot was just throbbing and throbbing, that bunion was. And I was laying in bed and going, oh my gosh, I don't even think I could go to sleep because it's throbbing so bad. And then just put a drop of CBD on it and see what happens. And so I put a drop of CBD on it, not even 10 seconds later, maybe 20 seconds later. And I looked at Tom and I was like, is this stuff supposed to work this fast, or am I just imagining it? Because it's not even throbbing at all anymore. And I went to sleep and I was like, wow, we have got our hands on some pretty powerful stuff. So yes, little things like that. I'm going to just show you a small demonstration, and then CBD oil. So people ask this all the time, a CBD oil versus our CBD fluid. So our CBD fluid is way different than a CBD oil. We're starting to see the drops going in. And what does an oil do? Oil and water do not mix. And you'll see the little floaties all over. They're beaded up. It's not actually mixing in the water. But our CBD fluid is actually a fluid that will actually, you'll see it drop down. And as we stir it, it's become aqueous and it instantly absorbs into the bloodstream. So you see a little cloudy, but that actually instantly absorbs into the bloodstream. CBD oils actually are only absorbed about 6 to 10% into our body. And that's why when you have an oil, you actually have to hold it under your tongue, and they're hoping that as much of it as possible can be actually absorbed into the body. And that's the reason also why people are getting tested positive through drug tests because of the CBD oils, because it sits in your system and it's actually having to go through your intestinal tract, and then it gets a buildup in it, and then people are being tested positive. I mean, we have people on our team that are nurses, police officers, firefighters, all of those types of fields, and nobody is getting tested positive because ours is actually a CBD fluid that actually absorbs straight into the bloodstream, and we're getting the absorption rate starts at about 75% and works its way on up from there. You can see, and ours dosage is 2 drops. That's it. That's the max dose. You can take it a couple times a day if you want to. Like Kathy was talking about, she was taking it 4 times. That would be 2 in the morning, probably 2 in the afternoon or evening. I am actually down to where I could just take 1 drop right before I go to bed, and I'm golden. So that is the world of our CBD, and hopefully you have learned something today. We're glad that you've come and joined us today. All of us as associates are passionate about sharing, just sharing how we can educate people on getting healed the natural ways. Like I said earlier, we've had other health talks and we're super excited about them. Had them about anxiety and depression, and Julie did an amazing story on that and her son. And then we have autoimmune disease we talked about. With Lori and I, we recorded the world of collagen, and then also our support system, which is like our vitamin C and our D and K support. I'm just going to show you just a few of the other products that we have, and I'll just kind of go over them from my notes here. We have areas that we can deal with gut issues, say if you have IBS, acid reflux, constipation. There's skin issues, joint and inflammation. We have heart health. There's a nitric oxide that really enlarges your blood vessels and makes them pliable, just really cleans up the blood. Energy, if you're having problems with energy, we have a great product for that. We have, like I talked about just a few minutes ago, the immune system. We have a vitamin C. Our vitamin C is actually from acerola cherries. It's the highest natural form of vitamin C that you can get. There's a whole study on that as far as what are you really getting the right type of vitamin C. Most people don't understand that, because even Tom and I have been into Fred Meyer and we have looked at every single bottle. None of them were from acerola cherries. They were all derived from a lab. And basically it's high fructose corn syrup is what it boils down to. And your body is not deficient of high fructose corn syrup. It is deficient of vitamin C. So we have a collagen. Our collagen is amazing. It is a pharmaceutical grade collagen. It's a type 1 hydrolyzed liquid collagen. There is none like it. We are getting so many results from it. Obviously, we have the CBD world, and I don't have the slide for it, but we do actually have 3 CBDs. We have a Soothe drops. They're just drops, and if you know what the plant tastes like, it tastes exactly like the plant. When we do our extraction process, we have a QR code even that you can look at from the before and after, and actually nothing changes. If you're familiar with like a Vitamix, they take it, they put it all in a Vitamix, kind of, sort of. I'm not like, it's a patent process, and it goes directly into the bottle. So nothing changes from the beginning to the end. We don't use heat. We don't use chemicals. We have the best of the best. And not all people liked the taste because it tastes exactly like the plant, right? And so they decided to come up with a metered spray that has cinnamon and mint in it. I believe that's what it is. But it's a sprayer, and you spray it in the insides of your cheeks, same exact results. And then the other thing that we have is a CBD Muscle Rub. That's what Vicki was talking about. That stuff is amazing. I mean, like, telling you amazing. My cousin, even, he was like, I got Muscle Rub. He had pulled a muscle in his growing area. And I said, oh, okay. So I wasn't saying anymore. And then finally, after about 3 days, he kept on like limping around. And I said, I have some here that you just might want to try, and he said, well, okay. I said, it's free. I mean, you could just try it and it's not going to hurt, right? And so he goes in, he tries it. He comes back out about 5 minutes later, and he was like, is that supposed to work that fast? Because all my pain's gone. I said, well, it can. And he was like, I need some right now. So I said, okay. The other few things that we have is we have meal replacement shakes. We have some limited time only ones too, a coconut cream, and like these are amazing shakes. Okay. Coconut cream and then brownie batter. I like the coconut cream, but we have some limited time only ones just for the holiday, pumpkin and cinnamon rolls. And then we have a good for you coffee, which that's MTC, which is oil with totally for your brain. Oh yeah, there you go, Lori. She's drinking her coffee. And then we have some limited time only flavors, the peppermint creamer, toasted white chocolate, and then a chai tea. And then the last thing that we have is we have a toothpaste that I would have never been a fan of toothpaste. Trust me. Like I am like pretty a solid person. Like I'm either in or I'm not. Okay. This toothpaste, I was married to my toothpaste, like outside. And I was like, no, just give me my Optic White because that's what I used. Right. And I thought, oh, fine, I'll just try this one. It says it has nano silver, nano gold, which is protecting your teeth and everything. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to try it. I tried it one time and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this toothpaste. So I am using our toothpaste all the time, and I'm hearing so many testimonies about the toothpaste. Okay, yeah, you want to share it with just for a minute?
Yeah, so she's been on epileptic medication for years, and it's rotted her teeth. And so she had to go in and get, one was so bad it had to be pulled out, and they put a bunch of stitches, and it's hurt so bad. And I had sent her the kit, but she had taken the chemical stuff to rinse and clean, and she couldn't get any relief. And then she went, oh, Lori's stuff. And she tried it, and she's same thing. She's like, wow, is it supposed to help this quick? And she is just sold on it because she has just been in so much pain from these teeth. And it's so sad that the medication has ruined her teeth.
We're not making any of this up. This is real life, real testimonies. We are 100% being real. I'm not phony. I am 100%. If it works, it works. And like I have studied the natural ways. I'm 56 years old. I have never been on any medications, and praise the Lord for that. I have always sought the natural ways. And the problem with a lot of the natural ways is that there's fillers in them and everything. And so they may work for a little while, but they don't continue to work. We've been taking this product for like 3.5 to 4 years. I've lost count really, but I am sold on them. They don't stop working. They are continuing to work. And I mean, I battled with constipation for years, and like that's a whole nother journey. And we'll have another segment on that. They're amazing products. And there is a business wrapped around it. I'll just go ahead and show you really quick, and then we'll be done here. So in our business, we can sponsor 3 people. It costs $99. It's super easy. You get wholesale prices. It's the first rank is a Jeep program. You can get a Jeep. There's several on here that already have Jeep. My husband and I both own Jeeps. We have not made one payment. I mean, like the Lord has been so good to us, and we get to drive these Jeeps. So it's crazy. You can get a 50% commission. If you have customers, you get paid 50%. It doesn't matter if you just joined up today. You don't have to like meet any ranks or anything like that. And you can see that there's ways to make instantly 50% commission. And then there's bonuses. If you can get 10 customers and 3 associates, it's $1,000, and you can do that every month or twice a month. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, some of us have wrapped business around this, and we love it just because we're so passionate about it. Some of it, you haven't quit your day jobs. I haven't quit my day job yet. You know what? I get to help people, and that's the joy of all of this. Even the money, like the money is nice, but to set that all aside, our daughter asked my husband the other day, she said, don't you get tired of doing Zooms, Dad? You know, you say the same things, you know, pretty much like you're presenting the same thing. And he had just heard and the most amazing testimony. And he said, not when you get to hear life-changing stories like this. Every single time I get to hear them. And I'm with him. I love to be able to share, to hear those life-changing stories. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining today. We just really love every one of you guys, and just appreciate your time today, and look forward to seeing you. You know, if this is something that's interest to you, you're new as a guest here, just get with the person that's invited you. They may not know all the answers. We don't know all the answers, but we're on this journey. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to win, and we're going to help people. And anyways, so just thank you. And we'll have another couple weeks. We'll have another segment. And so look forward to seeing you then. Bless you guys.